think we're live. Just need to double check here. Okay, if anyone could just give me like a thumbs up or something that the audio is working, that would be great. I'm trying out some new streaming stuff, so I'm not really sure if everything works as it should. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's working. Oh, I am the chat. It's been a while since I've streamed, so I'm just gonna have to double check like a lot of stuff here. Is that water a bit too chaotic? Yeah. This is just for testing purposes. By the way, hello, Queerny, Sanatonum, welcome. We're gonna try to sink a ship today. Well, we're gonna try to experiment on how we actually sink a ship. Can anyone just give me like a thumbs up if the audio is okay? Is the music too loud? Am I too loud? Anything like that? I just need to make sure. Thank you, Greenie. Great. Fantastic. Alright, so essentially I'm gonna be making a demo, like a really short demo in VR of Titanic sinking, or like you as the player get to experience the sinking in VR. But there's a lot of stuff to do before I actually implement like the gameplay elements. So I'm gonna use this stream today as just like a testing stream. I'm gonna be testing some new stream stuff. It seems to be okay for now, but I'm also gonna be adjusting some of the water, especially here. That's like the main component of a Titanic sinking game. So I'm gonna be testing a bit with the water, and especially how it interacts with this environment. Nothing you see today is going to be in the final product. Well, it's definitely gonna be to like some degree, I guess. But yeah, we're just using this as a test environment right now. Like the water is going to be rising very slowly, but as you can see right there, I have the animation sped up like 5 times or something. Definitely not correct, but it looks really cool. Lagoons, hello, welcome. Glad you're here, my friend. So we're essentially using, for those of you here that are not too familiar with Unreal Engine, we're using something called fluid flux, which is probably Unreal Engine's best like water simulation system, but it's kind of tricky to work with. So in this demo, I'm gonna have to be really creative to actually pull this off. Bad Tunes, welcome. VR, yeah man, I'll show you in a couple of seconds. Let me just... Ovulation, I did not mean to search up ovulation. I was going to search up Oculus. Jesus. If Titanic sank in 20 minutes, yeah. I swear to God, ovulation has nothing to do with this demo. Alright, should be active now. This is also the reason why I don't have a webcam today, because I'm gonna be sitting in VR for most of the time. So you're just gonna see my headset cramped up into the camera. How are you? I'm doing good. A little bit stressed about this demo, but I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. How are you, Bad Tunes? Let me just get this VR shit set up. Just give me 1 second. I'm using like a Quest 2, so you need to enable a lot of stuff to be able to actually connect to your computer. I think we're there right now. So let's see, we can VR preview. Oh, this is definitely gonna mess up with the audio, isn't it? I think we're good. Alright, I'll try to play this in VR. Wait, let me actually slow down the animation so we don't drown immediately. I've also come to a realization that I hate developing in VR. It's so tedious and slow. Also, I need to... Oh, it is set to high art. Let's scale down the play rate here. Now it's gonna flood much slower. Alright, so this is VR now. Let me get these bad boys. Where's my other hand? So it's a bit janky still. Obviously it's early in development, but this is all in VR now. So I don't know if you even can see my hands. I slow down the animation, so it floods much slower now. It is kind of, I mean, when you're showing off VR on stream, it's definitely not impressive, but you're just gonna have to trust me that it looks cool and claustrophobic. And that's my whole idea about this. So I'm glad about that. We can also go into the water here. Kind of freaky. It's really cool once like the furniture starts being captured by the water. This is not gonna be the full demo. You're gonna do stuff while the water is rising. It's gonna be like a puzzle game, but you have like the continuous threat of the water always chasing you. Just, oh, there's a whole lot of stuff here. Yeah, so it's really slow now, nothing really happens. Yeah, what's also tedious about working in VR, obviously, is like you need to work the headset all the time to get on and off. Right, so we're back. I'm gonna switch into simulate because I don't want to put on the headset all the time. I just don't want to show you guys like the gist of it. The way I did the water here is actually really simple, if you know the plugin that is. I played it at 0.5 speed now, which takes about 2 or 3 minutes to flood the room. When I push it to 4, it's gonna take like 30 seconds. So you're gonna really see like fluid flux in action here. Some of you may have seen like my water simulations earlier, which is nothing like this, because that was just like a floating plane, which essentially is just a flat surface rising. But with this asset, you can actually see waves forming and objects being pushed by the actual force of the water. So that's the general idea of the demo. It's really realistic. Yeah, I'm happy with it so far. Because when you play it in VR, it really does feel claustrophobic. And I have so much more to add, so I really think this is going to work. I'm really sure about that. Amazing asset, yeah, it definitely is. It can do so much interesting and really cool stuff, especially obviously with water simulation. But it can do like a ton of different stuff as well. So but I want to, because obviously we're developing for VR. The biggest thing, well, not the biggest thing, but one of the biggest things in VR is to optimize it so it actually runs good in the headset. It runs okay, I'd say, but I definitely want it to run better. Sorry, I lost my check. Yeah, I definitely want it to run better. So there's a lot of stuff in this scene that needs to be optimized. And believe it or not, the water simulation doesn't really take that much of the performance. After a recent update, it now works in VR. But however, what is taking up a lot of performance is every single thing you see in here is a physics object, which means it's being calculated in real time when it moves. And since we're flooding this room, it's always going to move, which makes it a bit complicated for VR. But again, it works pretty good right now. Probably taking up a lot of CPU, yeah. But that's again, that's mostly for the physics object. Like this water simulation in itself doesn't really take that much up because it's so well made and optimized. But because it's so optimized, it's also kind of hard to work with. That's like a negative thing. Implementing VR can be a feature creep because VR stuff ain't that easy. Yeah, this VR experience I'm making now is just for the tech demo. It's just going to be like a short tech demo for players to experience. I'm gonna post this online for free for people who want to try it out, but it's not gonna represent like the final game. This is just to show off something, because I was invited to have this demo stand in Norway at a game conference, and then you need a demo. And my original demo from Echoes from the Deep, there's no way I can finish that within that conference. So I'm just gonna do like a VR thing in between, just to, I don't know, gather some hype around the projects, or just show off a bit about what the game is going to be. So I don't really have a plan for today's stream. I'm not gonna stream that long either. This is more like a testing stream because it's been so long. But I can show you some of the updates made to this water plugin, which I think is really interesting. It's in concept, definitely try it. Yeah, as I said, it's going to be released for free. What's negative, I guess, is that you need a VR headset, and not a whole lot of people has a VR headset. But I mean, that's the best I can do for now. You excited for Grand Voyage? Yeah, I think it's going to be cool. I'm not gonna show too much of this. I just wanna kind of show how this plugin works. I said the plugin, call it whatever you want. So what's so amazing about this plugin is that this is all happening in real time. And I can adjust and move, scale it in real time. It's it's so fun to play with. But the reason it's really difficult to use this plugin for sinking a ship is the way that it's made. Because, as you see, the water... how do I explain this? The way the water can go is projected from a top view. It's like a projection from the sky. So, now you see we have this whole waterfall and kind of like ocean kind of thing here. But if I were to place something above this waterfall, let me just see where. I just kind of want to explain it because I'm really excited about it. So if I make like just a tiny roof here, and we do the exact same simulation, you can see what's going to happen now. See, because it's projected from above, it means that the water underneath, something that's blocking it, cannot be simulated. It treats this whole block like on the axis. It's gonna treat it as just a wall, essentially. And I'm sure you can realize the problems with that in making a ship based on multiple decks. But I've found a couple of workarounds, which I'm going to be using in the demo. Like, it will be not working perfectly in the deck, which I was showing off here. But that's essentially because I'll show you the whole scene. This is the whole scene, and I've essentially just made the roof invisible for the projection. I have no idea if this makes sense to anyone. I'm just kind of nerding about this because I'm like so impressed with this plugin that I just want to explain also the limitations to it. There can be some problems with this concept, like putting the demo as a VR experience and the main game as a PS game will create some confusion. Yeah, but I don't really have that big of a following now either way. So basically it's just more PR for me. Also, this is basically more to show off my project here in Norway at a stand. Yo, what's up? Where's the problem? You need help? No, I don't need help. Oh, you're talking about the thumbnail, yeah. No, I don't need help in that way. I'm just experimenting on how to actually sink a ship, essentially. I wonder why they would code it like that. I mean, it is geniusly coded, for sure. Like, it's the only way they could have done it. But it does put limitations to it. But like, you never seen water simulations like this before in any game, I'm pretty sure, unless they use like the same method. I know Uncharted has impressive water simulations, but it's not simulated in the same way as this is. Yeah, so another thing I wanted to do, because the story I want to tell in this, now I'm calling it a text demo. I don't know, that's probably not the right term. I'm gonna call it that. The story I want to tell, like the player to go through, is that you start in the lower decks, and the ship is sinking. Obviously, you're trying to kind of outrun the water, but there's also going to be some puzzles in a way. It's going to be very complicated to like set up the narrative of this, but I do have some ideas. And yeah, essentially you're going to outrun the water. And what I'm hoping to do is that the player actually makes it out of the ship somehow. I'm not too sure how yet. Let me just find the level I want to show, because I really want to show the final plunge of the ship in VR, like the player is laying in the water, like right next to it or something. Don't you think the water is too fast? Yeah, it probably is. I haven't really adjusted the water yet. I'm just messing around with the physics. One thing we can all agree with in this tech demo would be so much fun to mess around with, like experiencing Titanic in its full glory. Okay, you're not going to be experiencing the entire Titanic, I'm sorry. It's going to be very limited, since it is, yeah, a very small demo. Also, it's going to be VR, so I need to, like, keep it simple, kinda. But I'm hoping to do as much as possible. Can I make a freely explorable sinking of the Titanic? No, that's not really possible with today's technology. Well, I guess it is, but I'm not gonna be doing that. But I'm gonna be making a semi-fully explorable sinking Titanic. All right, 5.4 updated the sequencer. I forgot about that. I know it will be getting stuck in Titanic, like in the moment when it sinks, is so fun to me. That is my hope that I will be able to accomplish. Why is there two? God damn, it's darker. Yeah. So essentially, I'm working on this animation, and I kind of want to show this animation off in VR. I think that would be sick. It's way too brighter, I know. How are you planning to make the interiors? Will you keep it simple or will it have advanced stuff? For this demo, it's going to be simple, but as realistic as possible. But in the final game, I'm gonna hopefully make it as realistic as I possibly can as a one-man army. Can we play for a moment to want to see this sequence? Sorry, yeah, I keep talking. Good to see you doing streams again. I actually missed the streams. Thank you. I'm excited to get back into it. It's been a while, but this demo kind of gave me like a extra motivation for this. Could you maybe release it non-VR on the side as well? I could, and I have thought about it. It wouldn't be too hard to convert it, I guess, but the gameplay elements I'm imagining is going to be weird to replicate in desktop version. So I am considering it though. If the demo, if I even can complete it in time, and if it's like popular enough and people really want like a desktop version, it shouldn't take too long to convert it. And maybe I will. I don't know. I need to figure out first how I'm gonna properly do this VR demo. It's made for VR. Yes, the demo is. The full actual game is not gonna be in VR. Yeah. So essentially, I want the player to be inside the ship in VR, kind of running away from the water, as I said, and eventually, I don't know how, during some cutscenes or some hard cuts, because I'm definitely not going to be able to make the whole sequence. I'm going to turn the music down a little bit. But I want like the player to, I don't know, maybe jump out from one of the decks or something. And maybe swimming in VR, sitting in a lifeboat, something like that. And I want to play this final plunge, because I think that would be like a really good finisher. I think we will make more money with the PC version. Don't get me wrong, this demo is going to be free. There's a difference between the demo and the actual game. The actual game is going to be PC version. This is what I was afraid of, that the whole VR demo desktop full game was going to be confusing. But it is essentially so I have something to show off at a game conference I'm attending to in 2 months. You won't release it? I will release it on PC. It's just this VR demo. And it's going to be on PC as well. I don't know, I haven't figured it all out. Essentially, the full game is going to be desktop. It's not going to be VR. Just going to be VR for now, so I have something to show. Amazing thumbnail. Thank you, I worked on that just today. I thought it was kind of fun. I have a VR headset, so I look forward to it. Sweet. I wonder how hard would it be to make this VR right now? Because there's a lot of stuff happening here. Okay, I'm actually interested. Let's try that. To see if we can actually get it in VR from the get-go. Alright, so I'm gonna fumble a bit again, because I'm gonna put my VR headset there. Just to see if this scene actually works from the get-go. I doubt it will. It's probably gonna lag like hell. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be laggy. I'm just interested to see. Okay, yeah, it is lagging. But it's also terrifying. It's really, really lagging. I'm sure you can see, but that is really cool though. Okay, I did exit, please. Pure virtual function being called. What? Okay, it didn't like that. Anyways, I do have an idea. So yeah, it did lag like hell, so that scene has to be optimized a lot. But it was really cool because you really could see like the scale of Titanic. So I'm definitely interested in having that as a finishing scene. Tech demos are my favorite part in early gaming. I used to get tech demos of games on CDS for free, so fun. Yeah, I mean, tech demos can be so much different, I mean. And it's really cool to see like how the developers, I played a couple of tech demos myself from developers I follow. It's really cool to like see how their projects expand. Steven, thank you, my friend. Welcome. Bro, if it's lagging, how are you planning to release it as a demo? Bro, I'm working on it. It's months until this is gonna release. This is the first time I tried this scene in VR. What pieces specs do we have? I have a 3090. No, 4090. Jesus. Yeah, I wanna test something out here. Didn't save from earlier. Fantastic. I'm just gonna fake this like in broad daylight. I was thinking. We need to change everything. Again. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to be optimized there. Especially like the splits itself. Like you can see how I split up the ship here in like multiple parts. All these parts are very high poly. I'm a 3060 ain't good, but I ain't that rich, and I'm planning on buying an i5. Yeah, I mean, computer stuff are really expensive, especially nowadays. Yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying. Bad tunes. Like, tech demos used to be like the shit back in the day. Like, it really showed off not just what the game was about, but like what the engine could do and how what the player were to expect. So yeah, this scene definitely needs some optimizing, but I really want to have this shown in VR. Also, the water is messed up here for some reason. Because I did have a lot of plans on how to actually do this. The first idea I had is the one I'm aiming for right now. Like in the ship, like a small part of the ship. And you're kind of fighting towards the water rushing. To actually get to the boat deck or into a lifeboat or just to the surface. But I have also considered the last couple of days to have like small sections in VR and kind of teleport the player around once they reach like a certain point or something. But I'm afraid that's going to cause a lot of confusion, so I need to do some more testing, some more planning and stuff. Will the water be as high on the inside as the outside? I'm sorry, what do you mean with that? I don't know if it's intentional or not. This looks straight out of the Titanic movie, like the ending scene. Okay, that's not intentional. Because I made this based on more recent research as to like how it actually looked. In James Cameron's movie, let me see if I can actually do this here. He had the ship like this when it broke up. Well, like this. It was like this 36 degrees. It was like, I think, almost 45 degrees. Which was not the case in real life. This is only, let's see here, at most this is 25 degrees. Which is somewhat of the accepted angle. Well, I guess 1,000 people have tons of different theories. But this is the one I went with. Mine is also a bit wrong, because it's actually more underwater when it breaks up. But I kind of did like a creative intervention there, because I really wanted to break up like in enormous to break up here to be above water. So it's a bit of a dramatization. Yeah, I know bad tunes. I wasn't like attacking your knowledge of Titanic or anything. But yeah, the film was made in '97, and they didn't really know too much about the breakup in itself at that point. But yeah, I'm pretty sure James Cameron had it like this. It looks amazing in the film, though. I have to say, it's probably one of my favorite films of all time. But it's just not completely right. And you can also see, like, the physics in my version doesn't really make sense if you see, like, the mass underwater and the mass above water. So mine is definitely needs to be lower. I know I'm probably gonna add that in. I think I have to, so the Titanic fanatics don't yell at me again. JS, welcome. I think he's asking with the water question, Herman, like how dynamic the water physics will be. How much can we interact with them? How accurate will it be to the interior? Most games where stuff sinks, the water just clips through the whole model. Alright. You probably wasn't there for like the first level. I'll show you the water physics, which are going to be present. Because it's not just a plain clicking through, but I'm glad you said that. Because that's what I did earlier. And obviously what most people have done. But no, this is going to be 100% physics-based. This is exaggerated, obviously. This is sped up like 1,000 times. Actually, this is way too much. Let me put it to 1, 2, 1.5. I'll just let this run and I'll read them. When ship sinks, the water level thing on the inside isn't it high on the outside buoyancy? Yeah. Well, that's true. We will make the physics room filling up with water. Yeah, this is going to be the interior water levels. Sorry for the bad explanation. No, don't worry. I understood what you meant now. We'll make the sinking with fluid flux. This is fluid flux. Juju Gaming, welcome. Do you have ray tracing enabled? No. This is going to be in VR, so I'm not going to be using ray tracing here. I have a lot of trouble just optimizing this as is in high quality. Well, scalability. But yeah, let me show you one of my testing areas. Because remove the roof and this one. Alright, I split up the model. I'm just gonna add some lights in here. If you're working in Unreal Engine, I really advise you to get Ultra Dynamic Sky. It's like photorealism, realistic sky in one asset. VR only? No. This demo is going to be in VR, but the final game is not going to be in VR. Fluid Flux in VR would be crazy. I need to buy my new processor or this PC won't work after. I'm gonna try to optimize it as much as I can. I definitely want most people to experience this. But also I really want to show off like the visuals. RTX in VR honestly will give me seasickness. It's basically impossible to make RTX work in VR. There's definitely some weird stuff with it. Anyways, what I was going to show you, I think I need to reapply my water here. I guess now you can see the process of me adding in fluid flux, if that's interesting. I keep forgetting what it is. There it is. I always forget the name of it. That didn't really help. I think it's this one. Yeah. Okay, so this is the, I'm gonna show you the whole process of how fluid flux now works. So this is the projection camera, which projects, as I said earlier, from the top and downwards. So everything is going to be registered as a wall. So if I move this up, you can see that the entire thing is registered from the top to the bottom, which is one of fluid flux limitations. That's very quickly explained, by the way. And here we got some water. Simple as that. Swear to God, this game will be really big once out. I hope so. Everybody loves the Titanic, but aren't any good games right now. I kind of disagree, I guess. I mean, Honor Glory is doing a fantastic job. But yeah, it's not a game anymore. Whatever, it's still one of the best media stuff, applications, I guess, around Titanic we've ever had, and probably will ever had. Okay, sorry, I missed some comments there. How is the project progressing? It's going fine. This is like a small little tangent, because I'm having a stand here in Norway in a couple of months, so I just need to finish a demo of sorts until then. Let me just... Yeah, so this is like the basic of fluid flux. We have like a thing spewing water, and it's going to flood the room based on the projection we saw earlier. Please make more fluid flux tests. Everybody loves them. Yeah, I haven't really seen anybody use fluid flux other than just showcasing oceans and waterfalls. So, not to toot my own horn, but I definitely think I'm one of the ones who's actually testing out fluid flux in a unique way. I know there's one dude making a game about a river rafting, I think, and he's using fluid flux. That looks real cool. Physics looks incredible. Thanks for the explanation demonstrations. I'm glad you like them, because I feel like I always go on like a tangent and I just nerd about stuff. So this is also really cool. Like, you can edit it in real time. Well, at least in simulation times. I mean, if you would have shown this to anyone 5 years ago, this would probably just blow their minds. It keeps blowing my mind to this day. Wish Honor and Glory would adopt a system like this. Well, that's not Honor and Glory's focus point. Which I'm kind of glad for at this point, because they're really nailing the Frozen in Time museum kind of thing, and it's really working out for them. And I'm really happy for how their project is going. The fun thing about Titanic is you can imagine the story in so many ways. No story is wrong or right. True. Every story just makes this legend of Titanic greater and so mysterious yet so close to us. Yeah, there's so many stories within Titanic that we will just never hear about. Which is why I think it's so interesting with like smaller projects like this. I'm Norway's neighbor. Over here in Sweden. Oh, cool. Yeah, so I've been a lot to Sweden, like I guess every Norwegian has. So much cheaper there. That's where we get our booze. We'll be able to play as Iceberg. No, sorry to disappoint you. So I completely... I keep talking and I keep forgetting what I'm going to do here. So what I was gonna do is show off the physics. Which you saw in one of the earlier decks there. So these actors here are not static meshes. They're its own blueprint. The reason for that is that they can then interact with the water physics. I guess I can show you an example. Just find model. Let's take this as an example. This is just like a static actor. Well, a static mesh, I guess. And this is called a buoyancy actor. And if we act with that's a bit too much. Let's adjust this tiny bit. You can really see like the water actually interacting and pulling the objects away. While this is static, so it's actually just blocking the water. Taylor, hello, welcome. I can mess with fluid flux for hours and I will not get bored. Same, man. That's essentially what I'm doing right now. Only difference is I have people watching me do it. So if we try... and you can also like edit the properties of how buoyant these actors are. Which I've done to some degree, but they need to be changed a bit. Like, in a chair, if this chair was floating, it's more likely that it's going to be floating like this. This is so much air inside the cushions, and like the weight of the back air is going to kind of throw it backwards. And I've kind of done that, but it needs to be edited even further. So let's see how all of this furniture react. And the insane thing is that this is all in real time. I've said that like 1,000 times now, but still blows my mind. So this is what is annoying me a bit. Like, every object looks identical, if that makes sense. Like, it's floating identical. So I'm considering adding some randomized parameters to it, so that let's say this one kind of bounces more back. I mean, something like that, just to make it a bit more unique. And it always straightens itself. Is the syncing going to be something you basically pre-render, or will it be somewhat procedural, random every time? It's going to be procedural, but as to how the simulation works, it's probably not going to be random every time. Because as you see, this is not pre-rendered, this is just me messing around in real time. And I'm going to have like a mix, I guess. I'm going to be using fluid flux mostly, but that looks actually kind of real insane. But I'm also going to be using some pre-baked areas, mostly for storytelling. Okay, I kind of broke it. Make the furniture sink after a while. I guess that would make sense, but I don't think we're going to see the furniture for that long. I wish I had flux, but it's so expensive. It is really expensive, but I mean, it is really powerful as well. Also, the developer spent, I think it was 2.5 years developing it in his own time. So I'm definitely all for supporting him. What's going on here? Yeah, so this is kind of, there's very little randomness to this plugin, and I think I need to create like some custom random parameters. How much VRAM will be needed to run this game? That's very hard to say right now. I'm sorry, I can't give you like a specific number there. Probably a bit more than average, I'd say. Big respect to Devil Fluid Flux, for sure. I tried to contact him a while back, and we had some interaction, because I was asking him a lot of questions about how I could actually use Fluid Flux for interiors. He basically said it's gonna be hard, good luck. Yeah, he did update it, added some new updates which helped a little bit. But let me actually show you the projection of this room, if I can find it. Yeah, so this green and purple pink lines you can see here, this is registered as walls or hindrances to the water. It looks basic, pretty normal, but I can show you where this kind of does not work, which is vertical walls like this, or tilted walls, I should say. Let me speed up this again. So the reason this works, it shouldn't work, but it kind of does. That's because the tilt here isn't too big. I'm probably not making a whole lot of sense. I'm trying to explain how the plugin works, but it's kind of difficult. Like, essentially only the green areas here can have water, which means this area would be empty. I don't think that's gonna be a problem, because I don't think people will stare at the corners of this during playing. It's a problem that when something pushes on the furniture, the force is translated, so it always originates from the center. No, I can show you how the buoyancy works. The buoyancy is made using something called pontoons, which I didn't know this because I'm Norwegian, but pontoons is apparently those gummy things filled with air you use on boats so that the boat doesn't crash into stuff. But if I draw debug on this, because you can change every single pontoon here, and you can add different pontoons, you can remove them, and then kind of change the locations of them. So now I've turned on debug. Let me just turn down the water a little bit. So when we run this now, we should see these are the pontoons, or well, whatever you call them. And these will be affected once the water reaches the middle. And I offsetted them a little bit, and that's why like the sofa is kind of sagging backwards. But the pontoons works the same on every single couch or sofa. So what I am considering is that when this game starts, I'm gonna randomize the position and like the size of the pontoons a little bit just to get some variation to them. That's like really simply explained. I used like a week to just research this asset to figure out how I could actually use it properly. That is the most honest interaction between devs. It will be hard, good luck. Yeah, he didn't say that in those words, but that's essentially what he said. He also did comment on one of my Titanic videos where I used flux, which is real cool. I think it's cool for him as well to see how his plugin can be used in different ways. U5 has its own buoyancy settings, I believe. I guess fluid flux is a lot more advanced. Yeah, the buoyancy there is based entirely on the physics software inside of Unreal. So it's a lot more expensive, but it kind of works. But as far as I know, this pontoon system is not simulated in the same way. It's kind of hard to explain, and I don't really understand it as well. I'm not gonna pretend that I understand plugin completely, because I don't. At this point, if you say all of this is magic, even that will make sense to me. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of magic in game though. The pure darkness when it fully sinks give me chills. I'm gonna show you something which I tested completely random, which is really scary in VR. It could be annoying for your eyes, so just a heads up if anyone has, what's it called? I don't know the English word for it. Like when you see flashing lights and something happens. Sorry, I don't know the English word for it, but if you have a problem with flickering lights, look away. Because I did test something. Let's kind of make it go slow as well. This looks really cool. Epileptic, thank you. That is what I meant. Yeah, so I'm gonna do something similar to this in VR. Obviously, gonna look a lot more better. But yeah, it's really scary in VR. I'm gonna hop back to work. Have a great stream. Happy to see you back. Thank you, Taylor. Have a good day work for the rest of your day. I'm gonna finish the stream pretty soon as well. I was doing this more as a test, like I haven't really done anything. Stream. I was just testing to see if all the streaming stuff was working as usual. Daniel, hi, welcome. You have a 3080 and the frame rate is dying in the light section. It's not dying. Also, this is simulated, it's not even in the play mode. Plus, you need to remember, this is over 100 physics objects being interacted with in real time. I wonder though, because I know you can bake. Let me turn off the light flicker here. I know you can bake the water so that you can play back the exact animation. I wonder if you can bake the simulation of the buoyancy actors. That's actually really interesting, and I need to check that out. Because if I can bake that, that's going to save a whole lot of performance. Unreal 5.4 is out. You like it? Yeah. The sequencer is a little bit confusing just right now, but I haven't looked too much into it yet. But so far, like all the performance stuff, performance updates are really coming in handy. I don't think that will be easy. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy at all, but I definitely think it can be done. And there's a whole lot of options I haven't checked out yet. Have you seen 1943 Marvel gameplay? I saw the trailer. I guess that was a gameplay trailer. Yeah, it was a tech demo for 5.4, so it definitely was. Yeah, that looked real good. I'm also excited to try out the more new nanite stuff. Well, like the displacement as well, at least. I'm wondering why my light isn't working as in the last one. Because I just migrated this from another project of mine. It's not working as intended. Which GPU are you using? 3090? Great water effects. Have you thought about joining Honor Glory as tech lead to rebuild their water effects to be like this? No, not really. They're not doing the syncing per se right now. And also, I'm having a lot of fun with my own project. And Honor and Glory is going really good without me, so. What will you call this demo? Good question. I mean, I need to call it Echoes from the Deep. That's the name of the freaking game. But it's going to be so much different from the actual game, so. I'm not sure, to be honest. Like this whole tech demo thing, I really want to complete it, but I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely gonna be a challenge. Either way, I'm gonna do my best. Do you plan on sinking the whole ship? Yeah. Well, you're not gonna be able to go inside every single room. It's going to be a linear experience, but it's going to be big enough to be cool, I guess. So yeah, I think the next thing I'm gonna work on tomorrow is trying to get this scene into VR, which is going to be interesting because there are so many elements playing here. But it will be so cool to see it in VR. Echoes from the Deep is a bad name. What I mean, that's the name of the game, so. How it will be able to see the ship from the thinking perspective in VR, that kind of doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it's gonna be pretty obvious in VR. As I said earlier, it's not well translated on stream how it looks in VR. But once you're in VR, you can really see it. Let's go back to our example room here. You can really see that it is tilted. Also, down the corridors, you can see water rising. And I'm also going to be adding a lot of sounds. Like, sound design is going to be a huge part of this thing. The ship is going to be creaking. You're going to hear water noises. Unfortunately, people screaming. So cool. The reason I ask is because Honor Glory isn't planning on making the thinking ship fully explorable anymore. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Krand. I'm new to Unreal. Well, if you want to learn, definitely stick around. Well, I haven't streamed in a long time, but once I do stream or post videos, I try to make them as educational as possible. I already know simulations account for weight and buoyancy. Can you simulate other physics like funnel crumbling inward once it reaches a high enough water depth? I mean, I guess you can, but that's a whole other simulation system. This water simulation does not take pressure into account. So I guess you could kind of edit it to do that, but that would be unnecessary, I think. I think that would be so much easier done with just animations. The speed is amazing. I come from my on V-Ray offline rendering. Yeah, then Unreal Engine is definitely gonna blow your mind. Like, I've seen so many people coming from traditional 3D renders into Unreal Engine. This is not a great example because this does not look photorealistic, but like other examples, just kind of almost, I'm saying almost, blows away like traditional renders. Because Unreal Engine is like definitely up in the ranks now. Like, we're using it to make movies now. So cool. What's your thoughts on flip fluid? I don't know what flip fluid is. Love your work. You're the best. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate that. Could you fake air pressure as well as water pressure so that rooms will collapse on each other? Again, I guess you could, but I'm having a hard time realizing why that would be done instead of just regular timed animations, if that makes sense. I definitely get your question, like from a simulation perspective. So I think you can, but I think the question is if you should. Also, all my cutlery here, not cutlery, like porcelain, is acting like feathers. because I messed with their weight earlier. You can see it kind of falling like feathers. Does the water make everything it touches wet? Yes. That's actually a really cool detail. It's hard to see right now. Guess I can show you if I... Oh, but yeah, it does make everything wet. Let's say a wave splashes here, you're gonna see like a wet streak here. But since the water goes up so slowly here, it doesn't really... You can't really see it that much. Is Unreal path tracing equals to offline renderer, like Arnold and RenderMan? It's similar. It's definitely similar. And it does use the same methods, but it's not as good. You have much more control in other render softwares, but it's definitely really good for like a game engine perspective. I'm insanely impressed, dude. How can we get more followers and attention through a game? I don't know. I've just been kind of having fun the last couple of years, and we're up to almost 4,000 subs now. So, I mean, I'm taking it chill, and people seem to come and go as they want. And I'm really happy for the people that stay, and I respect the people that leave. If you could change the dynamics of how the shipper is thinking, then that would make sense. Otherwise, pre-baked sims make sense. Yeah, like it's all a perspective of how dynamic the scene is. Like this room is completely static. The only thing dynamic is the water and the furniture. But let's say, like, let's go. Let's say during a simulation that the ship tilted like this. I know it looks fucked. I know that. Like it kind of tilted. Then you would definitely need some more advanced simulations. But for a static room like this, it's more than enough. I know I'm pretty dumb. You're not dumb, dude. But your art always make my mind explode. I really love the work you do, and I appreciate you so that. Why is everyone so nice today? I really appreciate this guy. Thank you so much, Bad Tunes. I tested new AI denoiser in 5.4 with the path tracing. Oh, I haven't tested that yet. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how the path tracing is going to look in 5.4. Are you thinking of making the entire grand staircase? No, so what I'm thinking, that's a really good question. Because what I'm thinking is the player gonna emerge from C deck. Let me turn off the light. The reason I have this huge white block here is to block off the water. This is all for the water simulation. So this is down to C deck. I know it's not accurate at all. I want the player to start out somewhere deep inside C deck and work his way up here somehow, and then he's gonna come up here, and then comes the challenge, because up here is the dining area. I can't make the dining area. I don't have time to make that in 2 months. So I need something here to block the player. And I also need something up here to block the player. And I need something here to block the player. So the whole narrative of this experience is going to be really tough to put together. I do have some ideas, but those all need more work. But it's a real good question, because I don't have the answer myself. Black Flag, I mean, that's too obvious, I think. Well, not too obvious, but that's going to be like, pull you so much out of the immersion. I want the player to be immersed while also making it impossible for them to actually go to the dining area. I thought about like maybe a lot of the tables and stuff have fallen, kind of blocking the door. I like the really simple, basic game idea. Demon monster at every door. Thank you, Kren. That's we have a solution now, finally. Maybe crash objects like desk, box, etc. Yeah, that is exactly what I'm thinking, especially here. And this is actually glass. So what I'm thinking is objects have fallen and crushed the glass to like a extent that you can't go through, but it's so crushed that you can only see like the reflections of what's inside. It's going to be hard to pull off, but I definitely need to make some sort of creative decision that way. Sorry, I missed a lot of comments there. Would be cool if temperature could be taken into account at some point. I'm not gonna have temperature, but I'm gonna have drowning as a thing, general thing in the game. Like you need to stay above water. Like don't stay underwater for too long. Like when the hot boiler meets cold water, it's going to oh like that. Yeah, I mean in the full game, definitely gonna be a lot of missing stuff. Like in my sinking animation that I showed earlier, I do have some fog emerging when the cold water hits all the machinery after it breaks. I thought about having the carpets ripple and bubble upward. In behind the scenes footage of Titanic does this. Oh, like you mean water actually going underneath the carpet and kind of bubble? I don't know the English word for that either, but I think I know what you mean. Like the carpet is loose. It's not attached to the floor that much, if that makes sense. I'm pretty sure that's what I meant. No, I haven't considered that. I haven't even thought about that, to be honest. But it's a cool idea. Will you add NPCs? Like NPCs running around asking for help? In this demo, I'm gonna be having some people, but they're going to be so far away that you can't interact with them. I'm just gonna show you that there are other people on the ship, essentially. Just give me 1 second, guys. My phone's ringing. Right, sorry. Are you in any way taking inspiration from the movie? Yeah, definitely. Like, there's so much stuff in the movie that was so well done. So definitely, but I'm trying to make it a bit more realistic and not too Hollywood, if that makes sense. A cloth sim for a carpet will most likely crash the sim. Yeah, a cloth sim would be unnecessary, I'm thinking. Cafe Eyes, welcome. Where is this interior model from? This is, I don't remember the one who created it, but I bought it from Turbo Squid a while back. Unfortunately, I don't remember the creator. But yeah, that essentially included the room here, and the chairs and the tables. So this demo will kind of be like a dream, not in story-wise, like in the environment-wise, maybe. I guess it's going to be a tech demo. That's the only way I can actually explain it. Like a simplified version of the actual game to hype you up to the story of the Titanic, essentially. Is this going to be like the game Space Between, game where you can escape Titanic? I haven't heard about that game, but essentially in this demo you're trying to escape the Titanic, so I guess yes. What is the role of the player? Passenger, just plain old passenger. It's not going to be talking, nothing like that, because I want the player to immerse themselves as a passenger, essentially. Would be cool to determine where wiring for lighting is involved. This will help time out when the light would or shorten out in what sequence. I guess that would be cool, but also when you're making a game, there's a lot about dramatization, and I think especially in this room, I'm going to control the lights how I want. Like maybe I can use the lights to guide the player or something. And most likely these lights would turn off like simultaneously. Is the water sim the flux plugin? Yes. Alright, so I'm gonna finish up pretty soon. If anybody has some more questions, just fire away now. As I said, I just did this stream to kind of explain more about the demo and to also make sure that my old streaming setup is working. Will there be sharks in later versions? No. There's very little sharks in the North Atlantic, especially during this time of year. If I was making a game about the, what is it, USS Indianapolis, I think? That's a ship that went down, and it's very famous for having a lot of sharks, which had a feast, to say the least. Really horrific story. When are you going to do the new stream, longer version? Probably next week, once I've planned down jotted down some ideas and I have like a more specific direction that I'm going with this. Once I know exactly what I'm gonna do, then I'm gonna do like a proper stream where I actually work. Because now I've just been playing around and talking to you guys. Will they add open windows so water can leak in on some places? Yes. That is because what's also cool with fluid flux is that you can introduce new water actors based on timing. So let's say right now when the water is here, I can burst one of these windows. Obviously there's portholes on the other side there, so how realistic that is, I don't know. But let's say somebody opened a porthole here, and once the water reaches a certain level, water is going to start flooding through that porthole, and that's going to increase the sinking even further. So yeah, I'm definitely planning that. I want to have water coming up from here, coming down here. Beta Graphics just subscribed. Thank you so much. Welcome. It's a shame I'm ending the stream pretty soon. Yeah, so essentially I want water to come from everywhere, if it's possible. There's a lot of testing to be done here, but I'm pretty sure I can pull it off, at least to some degree. Please schedule on YouTube. I'm definitely gonna schedule like my schedule, I don't know. Like my next longer stream, I'm definitely gonna schedule that. I'd be curious to see a sim of how water would interact on boat deck. Yeah, that is also something I really want to see, but that's kind of where fluid flux is gonna struggle a bit. But yeah, in the main game, I guess, I'm definitely gonna do that. I have some ideas about it, but right now I'm focusing on this. And once I've nailed like the interior flooding, I don't think like the deck flooding, the boat deck flooding is gonna be an issue. Great explanations. Fun stream. Thank you, Bad Tunes, and thank you all for stopping by. Thank you all for the questions, for the compliments, for the interest. Essentially, just thank you all for being here. It's been a really long time since I streamed, but yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this project right now. This was a weird stream. I've just basically just been nerding, but some of you guys seem to enjoy it, so. Anyways, thank you all for stopping by, and I'll guess I'll see you in the next one.